Hey everybody, I'm Tara from Crooked Row. Sorry about my voice. I've been struggling this winter season with losing my voice all the time. So if it's a little wonky, I apologize, but we have a beautiful, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, it is snowing here. We already got, like, last week we got like 12 inches, definitely 12 inches in some drifts. It's pretty deep. But we actually have had to shovel through to get our, to anything at this point. Right now the greenhouse I can get into, but we couldn't for a while. There was just so many drifts and they were so high and so tall, and this snow is so heavy. So I'm wearing this because I'm actually trying to protect my voice and my ears, just because I keep losing my voice, and it's a very, very not conducive to the fact that I homeschool and my kids are in sports and I scream, and so I need my voice. But we had a wonderful thing happen. My husband and I were coming home from seeing my mom and my dad, actually, and we pulled into the driveway and we're getting out of the car and we heard something, and it almost sounded like a child somewhere, but it was just way too cold. I mean, even today it's gonna get like 0 today. So it's extremely cold. We clearly knew it wasn't a kid. So I'm gonna run you over so that you can see what it was. So I have to be careful in my approach, and I am so sorry if the camera is shaking, but this mama right here, I'm gonna zoom in so you can see, had 2 twins. We think one is a boy and one is a girl, and while we do handle them, we try to very little at first to make sure that what is happening right now happens, because sometimes mamas get finicky, and if you handle them too much, they won't let them nurse. So we kind of try to stay at least a little bit hands off until they're nursing really well, like they are right now. So I'm gonna just film that for a second. We actually have other mamas that are pregnant, so they will be delivering soon too, and she is pregnant as well. We think, we're not positive, but we think the second one, the back one, is also pregnant, because she is pretty wide, but she is very, very young to be pregnant. So, but you know, sometimes with sheep, stuff happens. But one thing that we wanted to kind of go over today is that what do you do when you have sheep that are delivering in this kind of weather? So let me show you what I'm talking about. So currently, if you can see, this is normally our garden. This is what we call the salad bowl. It is just very deep in snow. There's a couple places that I don't know why they don't have snow on them, but it's very, very deep. I mean, even right here is like our lane. And I'm gonna pull it back so you can actually see it. Over here is like our lane, and like there's ruts right here, and you cannot even see, you barely see the ruts in them, and those are deep ruts. I mean, those are at least 12 inches. So it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But we have a lot of snow. And actually, we have a lot of cold. We are having record-breaking low temperatures this year. Last year was like record-breaking warm temperatures, and this year is record-breaking cold temperatures. I mean, I know that there are other places that get even colder. I know in Wisconsin and Missouri right now, they're having like -30 this week. We don't get that cold. But it's very rare for us to go below 0 here in Ohio, where we're at. I know up by the Great Lakes they can, but we don't typically go that low. So what do you do when you have babies born in this cold of temperature? So first, the sheep that we have are extremely resilient. They're Katahdin sheep. They're a hair sheep breed. The mamas deliver unassisted. I mean, like I said, we came home and we heard babies. So like, it is usually that way. We've had to assist one delivery. It was her first delivery and she had twins and her hips were just not wide enough to get them out. And my husband had to actually go in and take the babies out and they did not survive that. It wasn't because of his pulling. They were already gone when he got in there. And it was because we didn't know she was in labor. We have learned a lot since then. And we recognize when they're pregnant, and we make precautions for them now, and we check up on them when we know they're about close to delivery. But there's other ways you can see too, like, I mean, I won't go into it in this video, but you can keep watching their back ends because those do get kind of puffy and swollen before they're going to give birth, and their milk bag swells. But anyway, if there's wind, I apologize. It is snowing and it's blowing right now and it's extremely cold. Like my hand that is holding the camera is hurting. That's how cold it is outside right now. But I wanted to let people know, or even just out of curiosity, even if you don't have animals, even if you're just curious about raising animals, when you have babies that in this cold, we don't worry about, like, when we have 5 ewes in this pen and the majority of them are pregnant and close to delivery, and they will get together in their little shed. I'm going to turn around and show you the little shed set up, and then I'll actually take you in because the mama and her babies just went in there, and so, but I want to show you how we kind of have this set up, and everybody has a different setup, but this is actually what works for us. So I'm going to turn the camera around. So this is our sheep shed. You see it in a lot of videos. This is for water catchment. We haven't set up yet. And this little door right here is where we feed them through, although my boys get lazy and put their hay right here sometimes. In the winter or in the rain, I like them to be fed inside, and then the other times we feed them outside. But we try to have access to water. So as everyone who has ever breastfed knows, you have to have plenty of water. Now these sheep, these Katahdin sheep, they don't drink a lot, but when they're nursing, you have to have a good amount of water. And so I'll show you what happens when it's this cold. We don't have electricity out here, so running a heater to it is almost impossible. So it freezes, just like this has frozen. And so, hi, what are you doing? So what we do is we bring out 5-gallon buckets full of like crazy hot water, and it usually takes 3 or 4 hours for it to freeze over, but that is just enough time for the sheep to get their water in, and then we'll do that again at night and they'll get it again. So twice a day. I mean, in the summer I like to make sure that clearly they have a full thing. They have a full trough of water all the time. But currently, you can't help it. I mean, we're going to go into like -10, 15 in the next couple of days at night. There's nothing you can do. If you don't have electricity where you can put the water heaters in, there's nothing you can do about that. So we just make do. See, she just went to see about water. I might actually go and get some hot water or have my boys do it, because I want to make sure that they're strong, because these girls are going to be giving birth. And so this one's, and if you can see, she's gonna move. Her sac is not filled yet, so she is not, she's probably a little ways away before she gives birth. Whereas this one, and again, I don't know if you can see that, her sac is full. So we will be her milk sac, her little teats. They are full. I don't know if you can see that. She's gonna walk away the closer I get to her. And you can kind of see that you probably can't see this on the camera, but her little rear is kind of swollen. So, and you see her belly hanging. So she's getting close. Oh, I can see them moving. I can see. She and the other mama usually give us twins almost every time. But so, I'm sorry, I keep digressing. But so water is essential. And what we do when it's this cold out, anytime we have sheep give birth, we always have oats for them. And so we get like bags and bags. Like right now we have about 6 30 or 40 pound bags of oats. You can use other things. I like oats, and the sheep love oats. But we give that in addition to their hay. Now we're a grass-fed only farm, except when a mama gives birth. And so we like to make sure that they are just flush with nutrition. And so, but we especially make sure of that when it is this cold, because we need their milk to be very rich so that the babies can put on fat really quickly. So last year we had some delivered in January and February. Now it was substantially warmer, but these babies, as you see, are thriving, and I really feel like it's because we give them that extra push with the oatmeal, or oats, not oatmeal, it's oats. And so I think it's really important, and we do that twice a day. We make sure that she just is getting plenty of food and that her milk is going to be really rich. We did last year, and I don't think it was due to a lack of nutrition, but we did lose a little baby lamb, and for whatever reason the mother was just not letting it feed, and we tried to bottle feed it and it wasn't working. And I really wish I had shown this. Sometimes I'm not sure what people want to see with homesteading and what they do and what they don't want to see with homesteading. So but we would like for people to understand kind of the ups and downs of anything with the chickens or our cows. I mean, we did film everything that happened with our precious dairy cow as she passed, and kind of really even the emotion, the attachment that you have with these animals. So, but taking care of mamas that are giving birth in the dead of winter, you can totally do it. And I just wanted to show you that you can do it. I'm gonna actually try to walk over here. I won't speak when I walk over here because the wind is blowing too hard. I don't even know if you can still see the snow flying, but we're gonna have more than the 12 inches we already have. So, but I'm gonna walk over here and show you their little setup. So in here is our little shed that we built. And you can't tell now because there's so much hay down, but we do have a substantial amount of wood chips in here, a nice deep litter bedding, and it needs cleaned right now because I can see poop all over. But we did that in preparation for the mama to give birth. So we'll be cleaning this out and doing it again soon because we'll have more birds and we like it to be clean. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna have my boys fill up 5-gallon buckets, and I'll show you how we melt that water down at least for like a couple hours. So let me go yell at them. Not yell at them, call them. So Elijah already got the tub dirty, filling his bucket, but Christopher's now gonna fill his bucket with very, very hot water. So the boys just put in, you can see the tub steaming. Let me go in and see if you can see that. I can't tell on this camera if you can see the steam coming off of it, but there's definitely a substantial amount of water, plus it's melting what was underneath, and the sheep don't even care. That's how little water they use, but you always want it to be accessible to them. Okay, so Elijah is on the outside and he's going to use the little window, and he has the feed. Christopher is on the other side, which will follow Christopher because we'll be able to see what Christopher is doing. The sheep know. Okay, now Christopher, I'm going to come in here because you're going to block. So there's Elijah with the feed. Christopher's at the door because our door is broken. Whoop! And he will guard so that she can eat, so that she can have no worries. She's just gonna eat her fill. Okay, well that's how we do it. We try to guard the sheep shed the best we can so that the mama can have a quiet time. We don't typically feed them alone ever, but she has birthed alone and she is our alpha female, and we like to let her feel calm while she's eating. Typically if we ever give them grain, grain is like junk food for them, so they will eat fast because they're trying to compete with the other sheep. So we try to keep them out so that she definitely has the nutrition. We still gave the other mama sheep who haven't delivered yet, we gave them a little grain. They just don't need a whole lot until they deliver, and that seems to work for us. So I just wanted to give you like a heads up on how we care for our sheep in this kind of crazy weather. Stay tuned for further videos because I'm definitely going to be starting winter sowing, but I did not want to, and you can start winter sowing in sub-zero weather, but I personally did not want to get in the greenhouse in that cold of weather because it's not heated yet. So anywho, that is our operation and how we work with the sheep. And if you have any questions, we love to answer questions, especially on caring for the animals and things like that, because we are a mostly grass-fed farm. We do have like clearly our chickens eat other things other than grass. Maggie and the cat also get feed. They clearly aren't grass-fed, but our sheep, and when we had cows, our cows were definitely grass-fed too. So they have a beautiful, high-quality organic hay that we drive very, very far to go get because we want to make sure that they're plumb full of nutrition through the winter and that they don't lose too much weight. Grass-fed animals tend to lose weight through the winter, and then you spend the rest of the warm months trying to put that same weight back on. That is definitely not conducive to if you rely on your animals for meat. So this works really well for us, and we actually have a lot of people who come by to either for purchase of animals or whatever, and they always tell us that our animals are fat and sleek. My dad has a statement. He always says everything's fat on the farm. And that's quite true here. All our animals are super well fed. It's getting very, very windy and extremely cold. My hands are totally numb. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the video and let you know that later this week, as we bump our temperatures up to a tropical 25 degrees, I will probably be shooting other videos on winter sowing and the winter sowing method, and also starting the indoor seeding process. So we're already gearing up for gardening time. I hope that you're all staying warm. Oh, it's so cold. I'm gonna end the video. Remember, if we can take care of our sheep and our lambs in crazy cold weather, anybody can. Thanks. Bye.